out there in the world? Are you guys out there in the world?
I am in the world.
Green Supremes out there in the world, let me know that I'm getting through. Yeah, my hair doesn't look too good though. The fuck. Good day.
Like chat.
Welcome to the show. I'm Marijuana Man, and this is From Under the Influence. It's Wednesday here in Vancouver, the land of the free and the home of the baked.
Yes.
Okay. Joining me today, as always, is Al the Alchemist. Good day, Al.
It is a good day.
Welcome, man.
It's a very good day.
Yes, we've been smoking the fucking good shit today, let me tell you.
A little bit of homegrown bunks.
Some Seedman's Haze kicking around. Oh my God.
It's very strong.
Rocket ship sativa. It gets you fucking walking, or me walking around in circles.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Walking in circles.
Oh yeah, it's that kind of. You can't remember what you were doing.
What the fuck was I up to?
I smoked some with Phoenix. One of the girls works in the store last night, and she was trying to read a book, and I thought,
good luck.
Let's put an end to that. Sativa will not do it. So we have a camera 2, we'll call it today, and let's see what happens. There's camera 2.
Aloha.
Marius and Jeremiah are here with Tom's head in the background.
That's right.
So expect those guys to be chiming in.
Aloha. Yeah, and Greg, you and I have the same shirt on today, I noticed. We're twinsies.
Yeah, let us just show how quickly we can switch shirts. Hang on.
That's right.
Bang.
Whoa.
See that?
Wow, you guys didn't even notice the transition.
Yeah, we couldn't afford to each get one.
Right.
So we just switch.
It's a good thing you're a medium.
Forth here. Yeah. I'm proud to wear it too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, good
and,
on.
Of course, for those who don't know, this is based on the
Proud to wear
medicinal
it, proud
shirt
to share it.
by Michelle Rainey. And this one was actually designed by Scotty, our friend, who's the t-shirt maker, but he had the okay of Jeff and Michelle's peeps just to, pay. He was paying his gratitudes. It was kind of a nod to that whole thing. So
That's good on him.
There won't be
done with
any
care.
cease and assist orders coming out of that account.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Vancouver. We seem to have turned the corner around springtime.
It's going to rain soon,
but it's going to rain. That's always the case. If it's not raining, it's going to rain. But we've been lucky, and we're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed for 420. Plans are afoot, let me tell you. We've got most of it in place, I think. Things are moving along pretty good. We've got a reasonably good template to work with now after having done this a few years, and it's like clockwork, actually. Although I think clockwork would be really hard to do.
Clockwork? Oh my God,
like
that is
really,
such
it's one of the
intricate
fucking
work.
hardest things in the world to do.
Yeah,
really.
for somebody to say it's like clockwork, they just have no idea. Little tiny gears. It's like one of the most precision trades a person can be in.
And Spring's designed to just fucking fly out of the back of the thing as soon as you open stuff up.
Crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a chat over there for you today.
All right.
And got one here. So welcome to everybody who is in the chat.
Yo, clone.
Moosey, Green Supreme, Canadian Giants there. Dr. Clone, MCG. Oh no. Yeah.
We got Euphoric, we got Girl from Norway, we got Doob, we got Green Supreme, you already said that, Michigan Activist.
Mad Bumper.
Moosey, Ginga's in the house.
Nice. Sofa Snails there, Michigan
Canadian
Activist.
Giant.
Cool, there's a bunch. Well, we're here, and we're chatting. Many out there saying that springtime isn't coming their way just yet.
That sucks. I was in 3 places in one day, 3 different provinces in one day, and spring was not coming to any of those 3 provinces either.
Yeah.
You know, I should have done the 3 provinces in one day video. Fuck, I never thought of that.
Huh?
I might do.
That's covering some ground.
I might do those flights again.
It's like a slap in the
just
face.
to do the video.
Like a slap in the face to the other 7 and two territories. Hey, Saskatchewan to be calling, going, dude, you could include.
No, it was from Winnipeg to Saskatoon, 30-minute layover. Saskatoon to Edmonton, 4-hour layover. Edmonton to Vancouver. I guess 4 provinces in a day.
Wow, brutal. You could fly to.
I did every one across the board.
Kathmandu in that time.
I did Manitoba, because that's where I left from. Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia, because that was my destination. So I rocked 4 provinces in a day. It's pretty cool.
Well, you wouldn't have done that if you're going to fly with Lufthansa Airlines.
Wouldn't have done that if I was...
they went on strike today. Their pilots did.
Why?
I don't know.
Getting enough money, I take it?
No, something about seatbelts. Don't want them anymore.
We don't want to wear those seatbelts.
I don't know why they went on strike, but the curious thing to me, or the astounding thing to me, is that they're going to ground 900 flights today.
Wow.
And
that's no fun.
Right? Affecting tens of thousands of people.
I bet.
Right? And I can't remember. It was an astounding number of flights that one airline has. 900
Not your flight's
today.
grounded.
Yeah.
It was caught swearing in church.
Very bad flight.
Oh,
the flight was swearing in church, so it was grounded. So
airplanes are doing damage on our planet. That's for sure. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Except one, of course, and that's Flight 370, which turns out I found today.
Really?
Yeah, I had it all the time.
Under your desk?
Yeah. Bizarre. No, they're still out there looking for that. It's nuts.
That is nuts.
Well, it's not really nuts. It's a plane went down in the middle of the ocean and sank out of sight.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem that
It's
nuts
really
to
hard
me.
to find
Yeah.
stuff like that, actually. Everyone was hoping it would have bounced into the jungle and exploded so they'd have everything to work with there.
Yeah, and even if it was flying low, which we heard about to go somewhere, I mean, there's a chance it was just flying low because it was crashing.
Yeah, probably. That's what planes tend to do. That as they're crashing, they fly.
They get pretty low before they crash.
See, it's not that they crash; it's that they've flown too low.
Right.
Right.
They were flying just a little too low.
Go whoops.
Yeah. If they didn't fly just that low, they wouldn't have crashed.
Now, I don't know. It's all fucking crazy
I
out
guess
there.
that is
Dr.
the end
Strangelove.
result of flying too low is crashing.
Well, it would be.
It is.
Or landing.
Because if it would never be.
I have no fear of heights. I have a fear of the ground.
Yeah. After being high,
Falling
hitting the
doesn't
ground.
bother me either.
Yeah, falling doesn't bother me, just hitting the ground.
All right, what's going on in the chat today? See if you can shout out for us a little bit what you're smoking. I have, in this joint...
Trailer Trash AK smoked 2 joints.
Well, must have just
Canadian
woke
Giant smoked 1,800
up.
Stewardesses.
Yeah.
Green Supreme smoked 900 Pilots.
I only once smoked too low.
Girl from Norway smoking hash.
Nice.
Sofa
Purple Kush.
Snail's got
Some
PK.
Trainwreck.
Purple Kush mixed with Trainwreck.
Vansterdam Diesel.
Oh.
Well, I'm smoking some Candy Kush mixed with a Williams Wonder Pineapple Cross.
Pineapple?
That's kind of nice.
The WW with pineapple, that one? That was good. That stuff was awesome.
It was and different. So
it had a
speaking of
different-
drugs,
Drugs.
I'm just watching TV in my life. Actually, I watched a movie the other night.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
Shooter.
Oh.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Exciting guy type movie. Fucking brutal subject matter, actually. These are guys who from a mile away can blow the head off a guy. And do. That's what they do, and that's all they do. It was romanticized quite nicely throughout the movie that
course
this is a fun and good
It's a
thing
very,
to do.
very elegant lifestyle.
But in between the commercials, and there were plenty, there was fucking at least 2 ads every break for frightening pharmaceutical drugs.
Yes.
And to sit there and listen to all the warnings. Every commercial break. Oh my fucking frightening God.
We should just add them up one time and just read the list of them off on the
You
air.
gotta watch daytime television. It's even scarier.
God.
Anal leakage.
Yeah, daytime television. It's
and
every commercial is for some sort of drug that'll cause you irreparable damage as a side effect.
Yeah.
And then right after it'll be a law firm that's like, if you were prescribed blah 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 blah, call us because it's been recalled.
Yeah, it's very true. Right in a row.
There's been $38 billion set aside for asbestos victims.
Everybody's making a
kinds of
buck
stuff.
off it.
Yeah, it's like.
And
So
the
I-
pharmaceutical companies don't care because they're making so much
No,
money
I
off
often
it.
wonder if these law firms aren't set up by the pharmaceutical companies to handle their own civil claims so that they
would,
can control the payouts.
They get all the money
It
back
would be
on it.
cost effective.
Well, they get all the money back or a good percentage of it, and they get to control the payout, and they probably have some sort of insurance to back it up.
I think that's probably illegal.
I doubt it.
Yeah, you might be right.
doubt it
In
too.
in America, nothing's illegal.
But
In business, nothing's illegal.
every
Yeah.
single one of these substances, too, that you should ask your doctor if it's right for you, gives you suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one
all
of
of
them.
them.
Wow.
All these ones. And you go, it doesn't matter what it's for anymore. They
Everything
all
gives
seem
you
to have the
suicidal
same kind of symptoms, right? And one of them is having suicidal thoughts.
That's an odd one.
Hey,
isn't it?
doc, I'm not having enough suicidal thoughts. Do you think this is right for me? How can I increase my suicidal thoughts?
I
Using any one
I
of them?
like the lesions and sometimes death.
Yeah.
Suicide pills.
Yeah.
They're
Seek
great.
medical attention if you commit suicide.
Acetaminophen.
Yeah. Do not operate heavy machinery if you commit suicide. But
Do not operate heavy machinery while you commit suicide.
here's another thing. There was one called Lyrica.
Oh yeah, Lyrica.
And that they're spouting out
singers.
there to give.
If you've
because
got writer's
of,
block, if you're a singer and you've got writer's block, they prescribe you Lyrica.
Lyrica, yeah.
That's right.
No, it's actually used to combat the pain of diabetes.
Yes.
But, and they give out all the warnings and all the fucking horrible things, side effects, potential to it. But one of them one of the warnings is, if you, how did they put it now? If you had a past of alcohol or drug problems,
Yes.
you are more likely to abuse Lyrica.
Kind of just giving you a heads up that, hey, if you want to get fucking high,
You want to get
Try
fucked up,
us.
get some Lyrica.
try us, man. We're new on the block. You know?
An interesting little side
Just check
note.
us out. You know, we have euphoria.
No, it's all very snake oil-like business out there in the
It
world.
is.
Holy cow. And they think, I guess, that I'm not paying attention. Here's an interesting statement I heard on a truck commercial the other day. The truck commercial, they said that their engine conserves fuel until it's needed.
All engines conserve fuel until it's needed.
It conserves fuel
Technically.
until it's needed.
Maybe they don't, actually.
Well,
Most of them use up
How
a bunch
can you
of fuel
do that?
unnecessarily just for fun.
How do you do that?
They conserve?
well,
Why don't you
They couldn't
conserve
think
fuel
of any other
all the
features
time?
of it. Yeah.
Why wouldn't- can't conserve fuel anymore.
Till it's needed.
Till it's needed. And then, presumably, you'd be out of fuel. Right? You would think.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Right? That-
yeah, that's a. See, I just look at that as
Just too bizarre for me. Like, I actually do listen to these commercials looking for those kinds of things.
See, that's the problem. You
Or
can't listen
it
to them.
jumps out at me. Like, when I hear it, I go, oh my God, do you know what you just said?
I'm sure in all
don't think they do.
vehicles, when you turn the motor off, somewhere in the engine there's still fuel sitting idle, being conserved until it's needed.
Yeah.
Just sitting
No.
there waiting. Like in your gas tank, right? Like
I mean, within the engine itself.
you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the math doesn't figure. Right? You use X amount of gas to get where you're going. Whether it can, when did it say, "Hey, don't conserve anymore"? I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a heck of a lot.
Now, when it's needed, does that mean
But
that
you still have all the torque. You need
gives
so
you- it
much
gives you
torque in
double?
the world. Huh?
when it's needed, does it give you double to make up for what it conserves?
That's all they told me.
Interesting.
But I'm suspicious.
That's an interesting statement.
Now, along with that, I was watching the hockey game, and fucking Crown Royal is now the official whiskey partner to the Vancouver Canucks. The
Whiskey
official
partner.
whiskey partner.
Awesome.
And
the Vancouver
then,
Canucks need a whiskey partner.
Yeah.
Well, they do, because those alcoholics are spending so much money on booze because of their losing streaks that, you know, the team just decided, hey, you know what, we need a whiskey partner.
we need a
That's
whiskey
it.
partner.
So
we
now
don't
they
have
get free
one.
booze.
They've already got Smirnoff as their vodka partner. And then from the whiskey partner ad, it went to
Trucks.
a Happy Meal for kids.
Oh.
It went from there to a thing for kids.
Sometimes it goes to round trucks.
In the middle of a hockey game where maybe, I don't know what, some kids might be watching? Holy cow.
Well, a little something for the parents, a little something for the kids. You know, you get some whiskey, get some Happy Meals,
Yeah. They,
put the kids in,
Don't
in
care.
their bedroom with their VCR.
when they
They still got those VCRs,
Yeah.
Betamaxes,
yeah.
shit like that.
So when you encounter out there in the world the opposition to legalizing marijuana, and people are saying, "Oh, ooh, the kids are in danger,"
A says
Um,
Crown Royal gives
you
people
can tell them-
suicidal thoughts.
the world doesn't care about the kids. We don't care about kids. We're prepared to do that to them, right?
Well, the kids will grow up one day, and when they do, you want them buying the right whiskey, don't you?
Well, absolutely,
young.
and that's exactly how it gets started. There's no warning that this ad contains material pertaining to adults only. Holy fuck. They warned me about coarse language on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What kind of warning should I get for the beginning of my show?
Oh, yeah, there's no warning applies to Health Show. Watch at your own peril, I think.
The thing that's
My
so,
show may cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really demented because, in a way,
I'm coming up
the
with an
whole
intro.
sports thing is directed right at kids, and is from the time that they start going to school. It's institutionalized in our culture.
Sports.
Sports is
Yeah.
totally part. You can't get away from it. You don't even have a choice when you're in high school or at elementary school. They force you to do it.
Yeah.
And so, of
Well,
course,
you
and
know.
it's kind of even meant for, I don't know. They
Kids
know kids
like
are
to play
watching those.
shit.
Yeah, well, it's not that kids don't want to do it, but even if the kids don't want to do it, they still have to do it. But you know, it's not that they obviously know that these kids love sports. Kids are all about sports, and that's how
Sports
they get around
rules
it.
go
I'm
hand
not
in
sure
hand.
how they justify it.
No, they might as well be advertising on the cartoons.
Don Cherry does
Next.
his thing called Coach's Corner on the hockey
Well, they
show.
do. They advertise candy on the cartoons.
Yeah.
Which is the precursor to alcohol.
Yep.
And then they advertise
the other drug.
They advertise toys and different like those little Pokemon kind of card games.
Gambling.
Which are the precursors to gambling.
Sure.
Well,
they're smart.
Don Cherry does his little bit on Hockey Night in Canada, the Coach's Corner it's called, where he talks directly to the kids about the ins and outs of hockey.
Yeah.
And that is sponsored by Budweiser. That little segment is sponsored by Budweiser.
Coach's Corner.
Come on, what do you think? It's just okay? Just because beer's legal? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's still dangerous to kids and is prohibited in our world as a result of that.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to adults.
But you can bring
How many
associate.
people die every
Yeah.
year from beer-induced alcohol overdoses
Oh
in
man.
Canada? I guarantee it's a lot.
Well, not only that, but just the amount of damage it causes to your body causes all kinds of problems for people throughout their lives, leads to all kinds of really bad problems. Many people eventually get sick from it and die.
Beer can lead to gout.
So another thing I was looking at today, when I got up, I turned on the news, which is never a good thing. It's not. I don't know. It's
No.
just fucking frightening, the bullshit that they yap about. But one of the things that's going on in Canada are two things that are related.
It's 418.
The Conservatives are trying to plug all the holes in the Election Act. They got some new Fair Election Act that they're trying to table and slam through the House, and everybody's up in arms about it because it ain't fair, and it's letting them off the hook for all the election fraud they committed in the last election. You can't fucking ask about that anymore, and so...
See, criminal charges should have been laid.
Justin Trudeau, they were interviewing him, and
They
man,
chose
he's fucking
to
just
have
slamming
him deal
them.
with it within the House, and that's what you get.
The Conservatives are, they're just fucking monsters, and they're getting caught and being pointed out as such now, that they are very fraudulent. And coming up to 420 here in Vancouver, I'm smoking Nepalese hash.
I'm vaping Seedman's Haze.
I'm going to go
Because-
grab my bong.
As you know, the theme today is secondhand smoke and mirrors.
Secondhand smoke and mirrors, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. It's
There
420.
It is 420 here.
Happy 420.
No matter where you are, pretend it's 420. Hey, what's your 20?
Trailer Trash AK says it's 320.
720 in Michigan. Peace Bros, that's an interesting time. But
Creeksides won't load. He can't figure out what time it is.
no, the Conservatives are
Get your 420 loaded, Creekside. The hell?
girl from Norway. It's 120.
Oh, wow.
Ah. In the morning? I guess it would be. You don't ever have 120 in the afternoon in Norway, do you?
No.
Doesn't. Norway just uses a half of a clock, I think.
Just the night side of the
Yeah,
clock.
just the night side. We here don't abide by too many clocks, except at 420. Which is going to be massive here in Vancouver. You should come and see us if you get a chance to travel this way. It is something to behold, let me tell you. And we expect the same again. I would have to think.
Giant
We got
Normandy.
19 bands lined up.
Holy shit.
2 stages. We've got
Hands.
a half a dozen and more of the big speakers in the house. We're looking to get some heavyweights. Maybe John Conroy's going to come down and speak to the crowd about his recent victory in court and his potential victories to come. We might even get a local politician, Hetty Fry. Hetty Fry is her name, if you can fucking believe
That's
that.
awesome.
I hope we get her. 'cause
I know,
that's-
just because of the name alone is perfect.
Yeah, it's funny on 2 levels right away.
Hetty and Fry.
And
Hetty
Jeremiah's
Fry.
been working the booking of all of the tents,
Yeah.
if you will.
There's a ton of booths already booked. We have, the 70 or 80 that are in the main area of the Vancouver Art Gallery grounds. And then there's also the entire road that's shut down on Howe Street. And this year, because so many people have been coming to us after the fact when all the booths were sold, I can just estimate, compared to years previous, that this one is going to be crazy. Like, there's, at least on the vendor side of things, we're looking at 250 booths.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's last year we had about 150 to 175. We're going to be at least at 2 this time, probably more like 250.
That's good coverage.
It's going to be, we're going to saturate that thing. I sometimes wonder if it's too many, like, is there enough people? But the crazy thing is, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger to where it's overflowing
think
onto the other roads.
Each booth brings its own group of friends.
That is
as
true
well.
as well, yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
for
that,
each booth, you got probably 10 people that are, know them.
Yeah,
or
at least
because,
3 or
oh,
4 that either hang around the booth or go make their way through the crowd at certain times as well.
Well, I
Check out other
usually
booths
a
and
booth
buy
has
stuff.
3 to 4 people,
Yeah.
right? So if each of
Minimum.
those people have 2 friends or 3 friends, we're already at 10 to 12.
Yeah. No, it's this year.
Oh, wait a minute.
it
It's
should
after
be a
420.
fairly big
seems
day. It's
like-
always hard to predict exactly.
It is hard to predict, and who knows? Because it's Easter, maybe people will be
There's other
visiting family,
factors.
doing other things. But the other crazy thing in general is all this legalization talk in the media and the stuff that's happening down in the U.S. has really spread the message even further. So we can expect the media are going to be paying attention to this one more than they have in years previous.
Yeah.
And they've already been pushing it out a lot more. So we're going to have more media coverage of it all around. That means more people are going to be down there as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one this year,
It'll be
probably.
interesting.
Weather
I'm
depending.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be just too much fun, as it always is.
We're
and,
hoping to have a hotel room next door again, as we usually do at the Hotel Georgia across the street, and point our cameras out the window, that kind of thing. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if we're going to do the live feed. We've tried it a few times, and the sound is so terrible in the end. It echoes through that whole chamber. That we've tried to broadcast the sound up to the room using a little satellite system. That worked kind of, but it didn't work as well as we wanted it to. So
it's not easy with that many people and distance. And
yeah, it's kind of a weird situation, but we might just
maybe we'll have
cover it for on demand.
something
People can
on
watch it
there
afterwards.
that you guys go get a chance to see what's going on. Yeah, it's going to be a full-blown day, and because it's Easter Sunday, we are going to get religiously stoned.
Yes.
Sacrament.
So, yeah.
Holy sacrament.
I'm
Looking
bringing
forward to that.
an infused ham.
Yeah, an infused ham would be nice.
Quite a bit of goat there, too, I'd have to think.
An infused Easter ham.
It's funny you mentioned that. There's
I should make an infused ham.
Ishtar.
Everyone should.
Ishtar.
Easter. Easter is Ishtar.
Yeah.
And now there's
One of
actually
the
an
worst
article.
movies ever
Pagan
made.
celebration of Ishtar.
That's right. We have an article on Cannabis Culture here. Let me just find this. It's all based on the consumption of marijuana in some way back in the day, or at least one of the sacred rituals related to Easter is the consuming of marijuana. And this is before the whole Jesus.
Well, I know.
Idea.
Not to be confused with the Dustin Hoffman movie of the same name, Ishtar.
in Winnipeg.
One of the worst movies ever made, actually.
I haven't seen it.
No one has.
Yeah, in
And
Winnipeg,
him
I
and,
was,
who
I was,
was
I was
with
good
him in
friends
that
with a lot of people in the
Warren Beatty.
Jewish faith, and every year for Passover, which is our Easter, basically around the same time, every year for Passover, they would consume so much weed. So there is some validity to that. I think steeped deep in the ancient cultures.
Yeah, well, I shared this link in the chat just now. There's an article on Cannabis Culture by Ellen Comp, an original one it's called "The Return of Ishtar the Healer" on 420, and it's just about that whole idea in ancient Sumeria, this goddess who was associated with consuming cannabis and all that stuff. So check it out.
I'm always looking to date a goddess that's dedicated to consuming cannabis.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, who isn't?
Yeah, there's I'm
Now-
still doing the same thing now.
Here's
Better
another
have enough
Goddesses
weed.
and consuming
You got a
cannabis.
girl like that.
Here's another thing that it came across in the news today. There's a conservative member of parliament named Eve Adams.
Huh.
Is this like
Interesting.
not a fucking script for a TV show or something? Eve Adams? What the fuck is
Very
that?
interesting.
She is implicated with her husband, who was Stephen Harper's right-hand man, who just got dismissed for nefarious shit that he's been up to, misuse of the public database to help his... He's engaged to Eve Adams to help her get land the riding, some new riding that they've made up. Stephen Harper just carved up our country, making up new ridings that he think he can do well in. They've carved it up by the color. Hey?
What?
Oh, they really did
yeah,
too.
he's fucking doing anything he can to
Gerrymandering.
fix the next election
what
right
they
in
call
front
that.
of everybody.
I went to school with gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering. Yeah, it's a good last name. Jerry Mandering.
Yeah, Jerry's a good kid.
I like the Mandarin. Szechuan's a little hot sometimes, but
Yeah, that's actually the process of setting electoral districts to establish a political advantage for our particular party or group by manipulating district boundaries.
That's what I meant to say.
That's right.
So how does somebody go about bringing people like this to justice?
Well, there's a
Lynch
good
mob?
question. Depends on in whose best
Pitchforks?
interest it is to bring them to justice.
Well, I know there's a system of tribunal court that's recognized internationally that citizens can set up, and I'm just wondering if people can set up one of these tribunal courts and try Stephen Harper.
We do that all the time if
in a
that was
citizens
possible.
tribunal.
Good luck.
These guys are
It's
fucking.
possible,
They've
no?
plugged up all those kinds of holes. But here's
I just
what,
don't know if it's been approached like that. Well, it's possible. We have the right to, and people do it in other countries, and it holds water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They go to Geneva and they hold council in a citizens tribunal against whatever world leader or public official that they deem guilty, and
I
there's
don't know if
there's
that's
judgments.
available to you.
I don't. It's available to any citizen that's part of the United Nations.
I'm willing to bring charges and take people to The Hague. Hey?
No, I think we should
Gotta
look
pay
into
for your
stuff
own
like
flight,
that.
but
I think we should look into stuff like that, because there are public tribunals and people get found guilty in them all the time.
Yeah.
well,
They don't hold a lot of weight when it comes to government officials, unfortunately.
well.
Especially current government officials.
Here's what Evil Eve's been up to. She's trying to skew her little spot in this new riding they've created for her, quite probably. And she got caught. Went to one of the riding associated meetings that she wasn't allowed to go to, and was fucking bad-mouthing people, and got into a big fracas, and she wouldn't leave, so they all left. And then there was something about the maps that they're to get provided about the color of the neighborhood and where you're supposed to grind for your vote, and she stymied them having a copy and attempted to get just her copy. No, these people are weasels. The reason that I bring it up is to suggest that they're all weasels. They're all like this. They are fucking going to Disneyland. They're getting you and me to pay for it all. They're fucking doing whatever they want in government at your expense. They don't give a shit. They're fucking getting caught left, right, and center. I'm crushed by Jenny Kwan.
Yeah, that's really rough.
I had a big
That
crush. I
sucks.
had a crush on her for years, but
Yeah. Too
she's,
bad, too. She really was a great
she's
politician.
not dead to me yet.
No. She, what she fought for and still fights for are a lot of the things that I agree with, and I really did support her in a lot of ways.
No,
It's too bad she's a thief.
She just got caught in the
MC.
milieu of what these weasels are like, and they're just fucking out there stealing everybody's money and then
Yeah,
wasting
it's
the
true.
rest of it that they have on hand as fast as they can.
And it ended up being her husband who was the culprit, I guess, but still, that's, you're pretty close when it's your husband. She said she didn't
But
know
they're
about
everywhere, and I'm sure if they investigated any one of them, they're all the same, right? Because there seems to be no checks and balances for these people to go and do whatever they want. It's brutal.
No, there's no accountability.
it. No.
That's what Green Supreme says.
built into the
Oddly
system.
enough, yeah, and accountability.
I have the chat right here. Yeah,
you doing?
and accountability.
Gerg wants to know how we have real jobs and do this all day. If you've just joined us there, Gerg,
This is our job.
this is what we do for a job. What are you doing? How can you sit here and chat all
Creekside
day? What
says
do you
prick.
Smells like coconut.
Yes, we're multitaskers.
do? No, I don't mean to make fun of
Maybe
Gerg.
this is the job.
It's part of the job. We've been doing this a long time. Smoking weed here in this building is as much a protest as it is a habit, I suppose, by now. It certainly started years ago as a protest because, yeah, the police would come in when you did it. But as the world has softened and other things have changed, they don't. So we smoke joints. Let me tell you, we do a lot of work. It's a vibrant building here that includes 2 floors of lounges that I manage and look after, and we've got a main floor
the
with
BCMP Vapor Lounge
Cannabis Culture headquarters, and we run Pot TV. We have for many years. I don't know, Gerg, what do you want?
It almost
for an
sounded
hour?
like you were going into a resort commercial. It's a beautiful building with 2 floors of vapor lounges. Bright, joyful staff.
Proven to not cause suicidal tendencies.
Yeah.
Well, one guy did.
Yep. Joy said it's a tough job, and someone has to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
We'll take one for the big
I
team
try
on
not
that
to
one.
be too arrogant about it ever. You know, really, I'm very thankful and thrilled to be here. It's a genuinely good cause to wake up to every morning. And I think we've had an effect on the world and had a chance at promoting a better opportunity for marijuana to become legal in the days ahead. They're fighting and spitting, though. Here in British Columbia, the big story is grow up fires.
Oh
are the
my God.
danger.
Oh yes.
See, this is what Health Canada said is the reason why they wanted to end the you can grow your own weed because of the dangers to society. And they pointed out, and fires in particular in their little report. I don't call them Health Canada, I call them Hell's Canada.
Hell's Canada, yeah,
they're
that's
like
for
Hell's
fucking sure.
Angels, eh?
Yeah.
No offense to the Hells
Death
Angels.
Canada.
Sorry.
Death Canada.
But here in the news, there was a big fire in Surrey, which is a suburb. I guess it's its own city now, south of Vancouver, which is like fucking, I don't know, going into the 1930s or something when you drive across the border into Surrey when it comes to marijuana. They have been on a rampage for years and years, cashing in on marijuana prohibition. They figured out many programs. Diane Watts, the mayor out there, they got together with the cops and the fire department and building contractors, and they figured out a way to rape as much money out of the system as they possibly can get and go back straight into the city coffers for it all. So, of course, big news, the fire, I don't know, didn't really... I haven't read the news about it, really. I think I did hear that it was a medicinal setup that had been closed. That had been shut down already.
Weren't they moving?
Yeah.
Right,
Supposedly
because
there was no
Hell's
plants in
Canada told them to.
Yeah.
And then there was a fire there. I'm not sure that you could attribute that to a grow-up caused the fire. But I'm not sure that you can attribute grow-ups to causing fires. Today in the news, they came out and proudly said that there was 36 fires in BC over the past 8 years attributable to grow-ups.
From
36 in 8 years.
36, that's it.
That's ridiculous.
I've had more fires in my office in 8 years than that.
Yeah. Just from flicking cigarette butts on the floor.
No, this is, I don't know why any clear-thinking adult, because, yeah, there's lots that aren't clear-thinking, would think that 36
majority
fires
probably.
over
Now, what's
the
the
past
total
8
amount
years.
of fires, of home fires in the last 8 years?
Okay, well here now I did this number crunching. So in their own claims here, this is the Vancouver Sun. There's an article written, BC marijuana fires total 36 in 8 years. This is their cover story that shows a marijuana leaf burning away on it. Front cover, big thing.
I saw that. It was a tasty-looking joint. That was.
Yeah.
Oh, the
No
leaf
kidding.
was
Looked
on
like
fire.
nice weed. Too bad they burned it up like that. Didn't put it in a joint. But no, they say so in this thing, it says, according to the government, a 2010 RCMP report on medical marijuana grow operations across the country found fires up to 24 times more likely in homes with grow operations than those without. So that number seems like complete bullshit to me. Now, my own numbers that I crunched earlier today before I had read that stat was just for the province of British Columbia. Now, this is according to their statistics, and this is the fire chiefs. I have the document right here on my phone. 2012 Fire Chiefs Report. This is their stats, and they're using some of these stats in these articles. According to the numbers that I crunched out of this, they're saying 36 grow-op fires, and that's in 8 years.
Yeah.
Now, the other side, we have 1.7 million homes in British Columbia, and in 5 years, so not even 8 years, but in 5, there's been 37,517 fires.
That's what I wanted to get at.
Right. So when you factor that down,
hang on.
yeah, it's 1 in 47. There's a 1 in 47 chance of having a fire in a regular home in that amount of time. There's a 1 in 555 chance of having a fire in a grow-op home. So you're a lot better off being in a grow-op home. You're 10 times more likely to have a fire in a regular home.
So that averages over 8 years 4,687, which we know how many? 4 of them.
Sorry.
4 would be attributable each year.
Oh yeah.
4
So
points.
what they actually said is that when they divide this down from 36, that only a quarter of them are actually from medical marijuana grow-ops.
Yeah, even a quarter of those, that's 1.
Yeah.
1 a year.
No, it was 4. That'd be 4. Because that's out of 36, they said. So a quarter of 36. So that'd be 4 grow-ops in 8 years.
It's,
Well,
it's 36 over 8 years, so per year.
It would be 4.5
Isn't it?
grow-ops in total, legal or illegal, per year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah.
So we're gonna minus that 4.5. We
Who wouldn't
have
minus that? I'd minus
4,683 fires per year in British Columbia that are not caused by cannabis at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. According to their
And
own
more.
statistics, look at this.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they said. Where is it here?
Well, I didn't crunch any numbers. I smoked a bunch of numbers. But
On average, British Columbia is injured by a residential fire every 32 hours in British Columbia.
every
32 hours, somebody gets hurt in a fire.
Yeah. And when you go out there looking for information about it, you see lists of the top reasons for house fires. Marijuana grow-op isn't on any of the lists.
Nope.
It's well below, not part of it at all.
No.
It's, it's electrical, maybe they say, but that's not what they said in the headline of the newspaper when Surrey was on fire.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Len Garris, he's the fire chief out in Surrey. He's a liar, for sure. Has been the whole time all about marijuana. This is part of his bread and butter, is having his guys go out and investigate for marijuana shit. And they were poised, too. They were waiting for April 1st. They had their SWAT teams in place and were quite disappointed that they couldn't stormtroop around.
They were so mad they went and burned down that marijuana grow-op.
They went and burned down that marijuana grow-op, I'll bet.
Allegedly, I mean.
Wow.
Not alleged by me.
No, these guys are just cashing in. They're bureaucrats and contractors and just guys cashing in.
Yeah.
And it goes on everywhere. It's just like the government, right? Where Eve Adams is cashing in.
Yeah, these people are leeches.
Yeah, just doing whatever they want. And I unfortunately watched fucking CPAC too and watched Question Period. Oh my God. If you're not from Canada and you're watching, this is our House of Parliament, and people stand up and they don't get to ask questions. It's a weird, stupid, childish way they go about it, but they speak through a speaker and you address him only so that you can't be, I guess, in the face of the guy. But at any rate,
Mr. Speaker.
it is fucking childish. I'm embarrassed to fucking watch these men and women stand up and talk back and forth the way they do in front of me. You go, are you
brutal.
fucking kidding me? Stephen Harper stood up and puppeted the same words over and over and over, and at the end, each time his guys stood and cheered.
Yeah.
You go, holy fuck. It's one thing for this idiot to stand up 3 times and say the same thing, but for you guys to stand up and cheer each time? Come on.
Oh, it's brutal.
Oh, my God.
And you know,
never, ever answer to the question put forward. Never, ever, ever. You go, what the fuck are we paying these idiots to do this for?
And you know what's bizarre is that when Jody and I were there in Ottawa and actually went to question period and sat there and watched it happen in real life. And when you watch it on TV, you don't even really get the sense of how brutally bad it really is. For some reason, the camera angles they show you and all this stuff kind of glosses things over a little bit and shows them as these, you know, they have these low angles that are showing them consuming up the camera and all this stuff. But when you go up there and you sit up in the stands and you see these little, you know, the bickering guys, and they stand up and they're like, me, and they just look so pathetic. They really do. And the stuff they're saying is just absolutely brutal.
Speaking of stuff they're saying,
it's outright bickering. There's nothing to it. It's rhetoric. It's all complete theater, sadly.
And I don't know, it doesn't seem to make a difference or advance anything. It's just these people go and do whatever they want, and people stand up and say, hey, you shouldn't do that, and they don't address it at all. They just say something else and then sit down.
Yep.
You go, wow.
Nobody's listening to anybody else either. They just stand and spout
this?
their thing and then sit back down, and nobody paid attention to anybody else.
How much are we paying these people to do that?
Oh, a lot.
Oh, my God. If I could do that every day.
Worse, they're in charge of the country.
Yeah.
Those are the guys running the ship.
Oh, crazy shit.
sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's weird that we have... it'd be like if all the captains of the ship were fighting amongst themselves as they were trying to float the boat.
Go to port side. No, starboard.
Yeah.
Port, starboard.
No, it doesn't work
Smash. Things would just smash into each other.
And that's what's happening.
And sink to the bottom of the sea and not be able to be found.
Just like Malaysia.
Yeah. That's what happened to that flight.
So, what else
Eric's in the house.
Happen? Hey, there
What's
is
up,
Eric.
Man?
Now, they took a poll in the United States.
Did they put it back?
Yeah. The Pew poll. It was.
I don't want to know how it got that way.
The Pew Research Center. I guess all the churches have been built. Pews are probably as good as they get. The research center has moved on to polling people now.
Right.
Rather than just hurting your back.
Right. Well, for some reason, research is so much better when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. Give more honest answers.
Very scientific that way.
And what they found out is that 3/4 of Americans seem it inevitable that marijuana will be legalized in the United States.
Yeah, of course it will be.
This is what their poll reveals.
Except the fact.
They're displaying way too much profit.
Yeah,
for them
even
to
if they
ignore it.
support it or not. So those who don't support it are going, yeah, it's going to happen.
Good.
That's interesting.
I'm
kind
so
of moved
glad.
into the enemy's territory there, and
Then we're the winning team.
Picked off a few of their guys.
Everybody wants to be on the winning team.
Yeah.
Well, except for A. A thinks that stoners are idiots.
Thanks. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love stoners.
Who else do you think are idiots?
I don't know. But he definitely
Snow
thinks stoners
420
are
is
I
in the
think
chat.
drunks are idiots.
He's tired of being labeled by idiots.
Ah.
It's your
Yes.
name. I'm just calling you A. That's.
I only vape.
A
when
says
I'm
he
not
only
stupid.
vapes. Yeah.
Well, I vape and I smoke weed.
Yeah.
Both
I
by
smoke a lot of
choice.
joints, and I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But well, that's pretty encouraging, I think, that those kind of numbers are being bandied around now. They're just softening it. They're actually just all thinking about the $3 million they raised in Colorado.
Yeah.
That's what's on everybody's mind now.
Yeah.
By the month, and that's going to just keep going up, is all they're saying. So, like we've said on all the shows recently, here we go. Now, they're talking about it not just in the United States. Of course, they're talking about it everywhere else in the world. And one of the main places they've been talking about it recently is in Jamaica. And they've done something quite unique in Jamaica last week.
Really?
Yeah. And I shall find the story. They have created an association, and they have called themselves the Ganja Future Growers and Producers Association. The Future Growers and Producers Association.
Ah.
So a
The
group of
future
people
coming?
have come forward and have formed an association of growers and producers of something that they cannot and do not grow and produce. So now they're together, and
That's a
they're
really interesting
pressuring the government and are about to pressure the government into making them into the present growers and producers of ganja because of the potential and riches that would rain down on Jamaica.
It's true.
Absolutely rain down on them. Tiny little island, they be shipping weed as fast as they could get going. And
Well, they'd have.
Wow.
I think tourism would increase too, because then we'd start seeing like Jamaica Cup.
oh yeah, there'd be tons of repercussions of a decision like that. But I find that very encouraging too, and I don't wish to poke fun at these people. It's an interesting avenue of approach, I gotta say. Very novel of them. Oh yeah, well, we're the guys that are going to grow the weed and sell the weed in the future. So that's pretty good. It's
That's smart.
putting the cart before the horse, but maybe they'll spin it around here pretty quickly, because it is a very logical and very good thing to do, given the Rastafarian connection to this plant. My God, the religious, the religious right of these people to do this, or how it's enshrined in their culture and religion. You'd think that it should be fairly easy to accomplish. A lot of pressure from the U.S. probably still, maybe not the U.S., but the CIA and DEA are pressuring them to not do it.
No, you guys can't do that.
But another interesting thing, as I read further down the article about the Jamaican Association, I came across the name Paul Chang, who is one of the directors of that very organization, and a friend of ours, as it turns out. Paul was a guy, haven't seen him for a few years, a number of years now, but he was a fellow that would come by the office and smoke with us and joke with us, and he's out there doing that.
Nice.
So, yeah, fun stuff to
That's
come
a good
across
thing to
that
be
on the
doing.
internet.
And it sounds like it's a good place to be doing it in.
Yeah, I think it is, and much can be gained from. Well, they're gonna start lobbying for it, right? And people are putting forth who should be involved, how should it be divvied up, right? So they're getting ready, because everyone is. There are other places in the Caribbean that are getting ready too, like the island of St. Vincent now. They're also banding about the idea of legalizing cannabis. So all through the Caribbean, quite a bit, into Central and South America now, they're all squawking about legalizing marijuana. And Uruguay is down there in the south already having done that. So it's going to happen here. These people cannot put up with it for too much longer. There's just too much money to be made, right? And the politicians get to look like they're the ones that are making it for everyone. So
Well, I'm sure
they
in some
really
cases
like
they are
that.
making it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm quite excited at the prospect. Marijuana is the new 21st century banana, says St. Vincent's foreign minister.
I don't understand that.
Huh. Interesting. I got to see some of the buds they be growing there in St. Vincent.
Gold.
big, long, golden buds.
Yeah.
It looks like a banana. In the 21st century, marijuana has been around fucking longer than St. Vincent.
Well, St. Vincent's one of the newer saints.
Yeah. St. Vinny, we used to call him.
Yeah. St. Vinny from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yeah, used to
And
give
get-
everybody free pizza.
And you'd say St. Vinny and get slapped by the nun.
You know it.
And I didn't even go to a Catholic school.
I didn't
They'd
go to a
just come
Catholic school,
running
but I went to
over at you when they
catechism.
saw you.
Nuns were always kind of like
Brutal.
stern.
Oh, yeah. I lived across it. Oh, I can't even tell you this. Ugh. Too scary.
It's too scary. It's bad memory.
So what's going on in the chat? Anything?
Oh.
What are they all
There's a
talking about
yeah,
today?
there's an argument going on.
Is that right?
A is fighting with the whole chat.
Ah,
Banana Kush.
interesting.
Yeah.
That isn't easy to do.
I posted a video of Len Garris in the chat, actually. Or at least him being portrayed by Jim Carrey on In Living Color.
I've
Fire Marshal Len Garris.
I know I've spoken about Len here on the show before, but we went out to a symposium or whatever the fuck it was that they were putting on out in Surrey. This is some years ago. That they were then suggesting how dangerous grow-ups were, but he stood in front of the public view. We videotaped it. I made a show, and I don't know, it's got to be out there on YouTube somewhere. But he said that marijuana grow-ups were dangerous because of the electricity that's emanating out from them through
Yeah,
the
this is ridiculous.
Electro
through the
plants.
ground.
Yeah.
It's true. House plants of all sorts are very dangerous. You get those Venus flytraps too; they'll bite your leg right off.
Apparently, there's electricity just slamming out through the ground, and
They're
he
like
actually
electrical eel plants.
he had a little point fucking thing, and he was showing us an overhead picture of the neighborhood, and the grow up is in the middle, and how it emanated out from there through the neighborhood, and if you were the neighbor, it could kill you.
Very scientific.
That electricity. And he went on to say that they could not get close enough to the house
Oh, right.
on occasion because of the tingling in their boots.
The tingling in
Yeah.
their boots.
And they had to spray water from across the street. You go, wow.
What happened?
Len Garris, you are lying.
Yes.
You're
That is
absolutely
bizarre.
pants
That's full-on
on
lies.
fire there, fire chief. For sure, because it's not even logical. I don't know who came up with this or thought that it should be a thing that you would put on a big screen and say in public. Was there no meetings about this? Or did they just do that? All right, we were there. We questioned them lots, but these guys wouldn't talk about it. It was so laughably, and that's what they're still maintaining, right? They're still out there saying these things. And what the fuck? Like, what kind of world is this where these idiots get to do this? And you have no recourse. You can say, hey, that's not true. And they go, I don't care.
Yeah, whatever. As long as it fits,
So maybe when
serves their
they
purpose.
pipe back about the claims that we make about marijuana, go, I don't care what you think. Like, really, if 3/4 of Americans are, yeah, marijuana's going to be legal, or want it to be legal, they certainly say that more than half of Canadian adults want that as well. We can just start saying, I don't care what you think anymore. Like, really. I really don't care what you think anymore. It's going to be legal. I don't care. You can't keep it illegal.
See, this is where we
Unless
should
you're
just
an MP.
break into Billy Joel. I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That'll probably catch on. It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, fucking right, man.
Jam night last night. There were some magic moments
Holy
there.
crap.
Holy
I harnessed
moly.
the Baphomet last night.
Like, I don't know. I'm just blown away. I'm just
Channeled some
quite
shit.
blown away by what goes on here on Tuesday night sometimes.
It was furious.
It was very special.
Yeah. Very good.
So if you're ever in the neighborhood, if you ever come over from Norway,
Yeah, if you ever come in from Norway,
come visit. And we're here at 307 West Hastings and 303 right next door, and upstairs 2 floors of vapor lounge, rockin' and lounging, we like to call it.
rockin' and alive. Is that what we call it?
I don't know. Reggae.
I think that's the first time I've heard that. Actually.
Reggae and lounging. Yeah, I just made it up. But and of course our store downstairs, where right now, this very moment, and for some time to come, you can get hoodlums. The whole line of hoodlums are on sale, 50% off. Ooh. That's a pretty good deal.
I might have to buy one for next year.
Hoodlums are the best coat I've ever owned, quite frankly. I'm not afraid to say that, because no one has any way of measuring.
They really do make good gear.
Very well thought out. Like the Dutch. It's the Dutch, right? When you're in Holland, you go, wow, these people got their shit together. What a good idea. Why don't we do that? I said that all over the place when I was walking around there. Same with this coat. You go, wow, you thought of everything.
It's even got a rolling paper dispenser.
Check those out. Rolling paper dispenser and hidden pockets and all sorts of fun goodies. And it keeps you fucking warm. Put the hood up, it's like you've put on a hat. It's just warm. You're warm now. So check that out. You can do that online too. Also, we got free Marc hoodies, 50% off as well. So you can stock up on those. Have a few for mementos, or bring them here, get them signed by Marc when he gets out, which now is in only double digits till his release date.
I think we should get Marc Emery U.S. tour shirts made. And I'll have where he did time for how long.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Pictures of his
or
band.
North American tour.
And
it'll have all the Canadian
band.
dates right from the first time he did time in Canada, all the way through, and then all the way down to his final release date.
That's a good idea.
And then where he got moved to, and
Prison World Tour.
The concerts that he's done inside too.
And the shows he's done inside. Holy crap, that would be hilarious.
That's a good
Yazoo, Mississippi.
Well, he's got
tour.
19 or 20 arrests or something. So
that would be a tour shirt.
yeah.
Oh, and a hot item, no doubt.
All right, I'm gonna design it.
Al can
It's already
design
designed.
it too.
Boom.
Don't
It's
think
done.
that he can't. Yeah, see, it'd be that quick.
It
too.
seriously is designed.
We'll see
I've
it,
got it.
Carved in a piece of gold in a couple of days, just as just see how it looks.
Gotta carve it in wax. Then you make a mold, and then you just pour the gold into the mold.
So, what do you guys in the chat have to say about that?
Well, A says he uses LEDs, so he has short plants.
That'll.
Doesn't pertain. Blind Pig says, damn internet connection.
They want to know what the plan is when Marc gets out. Well, probably a pretty big party or two.
There'll be some rejoicing for quite a long
Joyce
time, and
says we're cool.
then Marc will be back. So it's hard
Or
to predict.
everybody's
hard
cool.
to predict what'll happen.
I'm not sure.
Right.
He's under 100 days now, so 99, 98 or something like that today. 97.
It says 95 on the site, but I could have sworn Jody said that yesterday was 99 on April 1st, so it would be 98 today probably. But
so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Not
he had a Gretzky
entirely.
yesterday.
So.
That's exactly right. So we're thrilled. That's been a long time and a very high number that's been counted down. But we're looking forward to having him back. He's very excited. Jody is fucking going
I gotta
crazy,
correct
thinking of all the
somebody in
things
chat.
she's going to be doing coming up. It's going to be legalize cannabis and leave us alone in the right ways. All right, that's fairly important in a fight to be fought.
And I just want to correct you on something. You say you use LEDs for safety reasons because you don't want to damage medical users. I don't quite understand that statement, but I can tell you that I was in a hydro shop in Manitoba recently, and I took some video and played it on the show. The difference between LEDs and between 1,000 watt high intensity discharge lights. In this case, they were halides, but it was a world of difference. The plants under the HID lights were way healthier, way more vibrant. Their nutritive uptake was better. The plants under the LEDs were almost cooked. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hey.
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 Yeah. I think A's making it up as he goes along, kind of thing.
Nah, he's just hating on Stoner. It might even be Rom. A might be Rom, for all I know.
Rio, as we like to call him.
Rio.
Or as John Travolta would call him.
Derp, he goes under. What else? So.
Well. Fun thing on April 1st was
LEDs
a story.
are fine if you know how to use them. Yeah. Okay, well, you give me the same clone you have, and we'll do a test. Okay, you get me one of your cuts, and I'll grow it under my lights with my food. You grow it under your little LEDs, and we'll have a test when the plants are harvested to see who's got higher cannabinoid levels, who's got a broader terpene spectrum, who got a better yield, and whose weed burns cleaner. How about we do that?
Or as I like to narrow it down,
Instead of just
who's
beaking
got
off
the
and
better
chat, we'll just do
weed?
that, bro.
We actually did a contest one time where we sent seeds to 10 different growers, same seeds. Gave them time to grow them, dry them, cure them, bring them back. Only 4 did.
Yeah.
And the differences between those 4 examples was stunning. So it's all about location, atmosphere. But anyway, everybody has their own way to do stuff, and maybe works well enough for them.
And Archer, you can get, just go out, do a little bit of research. There's some really, really good digital ballasts that are out now that are they're CSA approved, 100%. So you don't have to worry about safety issues. They're 100% CSA approved. If your house is wired to code, you can plug it right into the wall and you haven't violated any safety standards because you're using a CSA approved device into your house, which is already approved and wired to code. So do a little bit of research before you guys start really like beaking off in chat and misinforming a whole bunch of people. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more to be said.
Well, I'm sure I got a lot more to say, but on that subject, I'll let you guys go off on that, and I won't interrupt.
I'll never
the chat
speak
anymore.
again.
Yeah.
So yesterday was yesterday the 1st of April? April Fool's Day?
It was.
Fucking Idiot's Day.
It was Idiot's Day.
No, I appreciate April Fool's Day, but what the fuck? The Winnipeg Sun had a story about how Manitoba was secretly going to legalize marijuana, and how they had uncovered emails sent back and forth by the fucking MPs or whatever. Used the opportunity to really be kind of nasty to stoners, kind of like right? How, the email suggested that it was about time we were able to make some money off these useless stoners, and then there was another one that was quite derogatory to pot smokers, and you go, okay, well, and then, of course it's a fake story, and today they said they took an opportunity to do the very same thing to us by way of apologizing for their fake story. Right. Not to make you feel bad if you But if you believed our story about Manitoba legalizing marijuana, you must have been high. Fuck off, Winnipeg Sun. How about that?
Let's send him some weed and cat
That's
litter.
what I think of your newspaper or whatever it is, if it is one still.
Yeah, it's still a newspaper.
What a bunch of dorks. They all do it.
It's a step away from being a tabloid, though.
Here's what a school in London did for April Fool's joke. They sent letters home to parents announcing a new initiative that they'll be sending select students in grades 1 to 5 to Ghana for 5 months.
So they'll be Ghana?
Yeah.
Ghana.
No, they're I don't know, idiots. April Fools. But yeah, they took a shot at us for sure, so that was my little fuck you for the day. But we're having fun, enjoying ourselves out here, and we will continue to do that and fight the fight as it comes along. Hope you do too. And shoot Marc a letter. Congratulate him that he's under 100 and heading for the easy side of the slope. He'd appreciate that. You can go to freemark.ca to find out all the info about that. I'm thrilled to be here. Glad you guys have been too. Thanks to Marius and Jeremiah.
Hello.
Oh, didn't anyone tell him
What?
about the picture today?
Oh, there are no pictures today.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you,
There's no
Marius.
time for the picture today.
Yeah, they're...
I was going to
Actually,
tell you
well,
about pictures.
There
What?
was a memo that went out that said no pictures. Pictures had been deconstructed.
You do have a nice picture there. Well, I
It looks
I
like
have a
you've-
request for pictures.
Looks like you've tie-dyed the page.
Weed pictures. Weed pictures.
Yeah, my request is that you actually draw pictures related to marijuana.
Yeah.
That would be my
That's
request.
I've been requesting that for a while, and I think Greg has requested it a couple times.
Yeah, that seems
And
to
it
make
being
more
Greg's
sense.
show, I mean, you should probably
That's what
listen to
I,
the
It
host
seems to make
of the
more
show
sense.
when
That's
he
what I
requests more.
That's what I
marijuana
read
pictures.
between the lines of
Yeah.
the memo.
as chilled as the host is, it is still the host show. If he's requesting it, I don't know.
But
It seems like a valid
Since-
request.
It seems,
since he has a picture there, and there would be some explanation, perhaps we were too hasty in assuming that it had nothing to do with marijuana.
I think so. There you go. So there is the eye from Cosmos. It's rather nice. It's in the titles, and they do mention marijuana frequently in Cosmos. Carl Sagan used to smoke it for his cancer, and Anne Drainin, his wife, was the head of or
I don't
the
know,
chairman
man.
of the board of NORML for many years, and it's mentioned within the text. As historically, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is rather smiling when he talks about it. Of course, he smiles all the time. And the show is produced by Seth MacFarlane, who I think he's pro. So it's I tried to mix science fiction
that's
and
fucking-
pot. So I mean, I could draw.
I guess.
When
With the
I first
explanation.
started drawing pictures, I drew a space station, and you said, "Okay, keep drawing pictures." So I guess your tastes have changed over time. But
Well, I don't
I'll
think
do, I'll
we,
do,
I don't
I'll
think
do my
we said
best.
that at all.
You said keep drawing pictures, and I said, "Okay."
I don't know about
Well,
that, man.
Right.
That was
Let's go back.
It
We
was
got
a
to go
space
back
station.
to that episode.
I
That
have,
was
I have,
some,
I have a
interesting
space
connections.
station, and
He said keep drawing pictures. He didn't
Yeah.
necessarily say keep drawing pictures of the space station.
no.
Well,
That was yours, then.
I'm gonna say I admire the
The
connections that
connection,
you've
the,
made
the, ex,
to it. I
the,
thought you
the
did a very good
explanative
job.
connections, or explanatory connections.
I thought you did a very good job explaining.
That
Explaining
that
it.
saved you.
Yeah, that saved you.
Yeah.
In fact, if you had just written that down on that page and
Yeah.
held that up would have been good enough
Written
for me.
that down as opposed to.
In calligraphies, you know. So it was like presentable.
Or even in addition. But yeah, well, okay. All right, you got
That
you-
was a good save.
You got through
Yeah.
another one. We're not. Well, if anything, we're not easy on artists here.
No.
I
Yeah,
honestly
you-
did not
every-
expect the Spanish Inquisition.
Everybody knows that. Oh yeah, you can't just slide. Now, here's the bud cam too. Just there on the left is Al's empty
Greg,
Kush beverage.
I found something interesting in my diggings here
My Kush
while we've been doing
smoothie.
the show about earlier what we were talking about these damn grow op fires. Well, you know this statistic that says we're 24 times as likely to have a fire in a grow op house.
Yeah.
Well, I'm tracing that back to where that originally came from. So in the article it says it came from a 2010 RCMP report.
Yeah.
Well, as I go back, that report actually was put together by Diane Watts and Len Garris. It's called the Community Response to Marijuana Grow Operations Report. That was in September of
Yeah.
2009, actually. Fire Chief Len Garris and Daryl Plekas are the ones on the front of it. And when you look into the statistics that they used to prove that in that document, they sourced that out, it goes to a study done by Daryl Plekas. So this is
Round
all,
and around
yeah.
it goes.
but
If anybody actually did an investigation into the city of Surrey and how this all goes out there,
Yeah.
these people would all go to jail.
oh, these guys are
They would be run
total
out of,
frauds.
They'd be run to Langley.
And the time they're saying it's 1997 to 2003. That's when the study was done by Daryl Plekas. So this is all going back to 2003 anyway. So the Vancouver Sun's coverage of this is complete shit. I imagine they probably just published a press release coming from Diane Watts or Daryl or Len Garris's office.
They do.
Fucking brutal.
Absolutely.
Well,
And
call the Vancouver Sun. It's easy. If you just look up the Vancouver Sun's phone number, call them and talk to the newsroom. Tell them their numbers are bullshit. I already called them this morning and talked to the newsroom and to the city editor and said, why don't you publish some real numbers? Why don't you guys actually look into this yourself? She's like, I don't have time to talk. Yeah,
How many
but
other
she
calls
did-
I'm getting
she
about
did-
these fucking numbers?
the first guy I talked to said people have been calling all day about it and sending letters.
I guess.
Oh,
So hopefully
Wow.
somebody points. I'm going to point this out in my own writing. I'm working on something right now, but it's just complete horseshit.
It is. Has been for a lot of years. They've been doing this shit out there, and they should be made to stop. I think I've made it clear that I think that city councillors shouldn't have as much power as they do, or influence on the people's lives that live there. Huh? Come on. I don't know. Ride around on the back of a fucking convertible once or twice a year. That's all we really need from you people. Like, other people are actually doing the job. If all of the city councilors stepped out of the way,
Yeah.
the sewer people know what to do. The garbage people, I don't know how it all works, but they all know what to do. And they don't know how to do any of
The
that.
city runs itself while those guys calling the shots. You know, some of it, though, I have been to a lot of city council meetings. And actually, it's funny because oftentimes they are making a lot of key decisions on things, and they're putting some time and focus into it. But when you go to these meetings, if anybody's ever gone to a city council meeting, they are tremendously the most boring thing you've ever fucking been to in your life. Seriously, half of it is like land title issues of like this. Oh, we don't. A bunch of neighborhood people come in and say we don't like that these people are parking their car in a certain way down this cul-de-sac. And, you know, like, seriously, and they go on for hours with this shit. And there's, like, 20 of those.
Ooh, let's
And
vote on that.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the nuts and bolts stuff.
Government,
They probably
I don't
do
know.
make these decisions, but that doesn't mean they're good at it.
Not sure why the world isn't seeing how lame the government is, and we don't need them.
Yeah.
But maybe. YouTube. It's hard to tell anymore. Now there's too many fake stories. You don't know if it's real or not anymore.
Yeah.
So the confusion.
You got to check your sources. That's what you do.
So I think that might be the downfall of humanity, is that we're just going to get confused.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we're
Well, it
already
seems
there.
to be happening everywhere.
And that'll be it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where we are.
Yes. Humans. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. But no, that serves the evildoers quite nicely to have everybody not know what's real and what's not anymore, even if it's our own doing or not. You know, no, conspiracy too has taken a sharp rise in everyone's mind, right? Some sort of conspiracy, because you don't know. It's got to be that. You go, oh wow, you people, that's dangerous to think like that, right?
There's a million conspiracy angles for everything.
Yeah, so they, I don't know. It's changed. Things are changing quickly, and that's one of the interesting ones I see is that now you don't know if it's true, really, or people that sophisticated people don't care. Right.
Well, it's like some of the big tragedies, some of the big things that have happened. Like let's say World Trade Center. We know what happened. We know it was set up. Does it matter how, or does it matter why?
Probably why.
Well, we see why. It's blatant.
Well, you see who benefits from stuff, right?
we see all the things that have tightened up. North American Union Act. The dissolving of all borders.
12 years of war.
all kinds of stuff. So we see why, but we know that internally something was done, and it doesn't really, nothing else really matters because it was done internally.
Oh yeah, constantly.
And that's
continue.
That's what people should be focusing on. The details is what distract people. Look at the core of the core fundamentals of the situation, and
right to the core.
And there you have it. Forget about all the details. Forget about the why. Forget about the how. Forget about all of that. Just look at who. Look at the core of the constructors, the architects of it, and then it doesn't matter why, because if it's internal.
It'd be about gold.
It should be time for revolt.
It's always been about gold.
Well, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of whys.
So
but they don't matter.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they're trying to figure out another way to maybe get a Cold War going again with Russia. It would seem, or maybe even shooting at each other one, right? They got nowhere else to go now, right? They don't have a war in Afghanistan to spend the big bucks anymore, so they got another one. Set something else up here quick. So the Crimea, it's gonna be the Crimea River.
These guys are going crazy in the chat, eh?
Really?
I just found the nugget here in the statistics where they got this from and how they are fucking these numbers around. This is it. In this Daryl Pleckus report, they're claiming that. Now, this is very funny because in the article that the Vancouver Sun published, they say 36 fires in 8 years. Well, what is it, 2014? So that goes back to 2006. Well, this report that they're claiming the 24 times as high likelihood is coming from 1997 to 2003. In that report, they claim that there were 419 fires related to indoor growing operations in British Columbia between 97 and 2003. So if you who knows if, and all of these statistics came from Len Garris's office. It says right in the thing that these were provided by Len Garris.
So we can look at that as a direct result of prohibition.
Yeah, well, no, I would say that.
Well, during 97 to 2003, there was a lot bigger risk in setting up a grow op. So people were doing it shady, or they were tapping into hydrometers. They were doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
They're overloading the transformers because they're fucking irresponsible. They don't do the research. They don't know what kind of a power load are on the grid already.
Yeah.
And they're adding to the power load. They don't know any of that.
Yeah. But even those statistics alone, if they're not doctored.
But since 2003 to present, we've seen a large relaxation in certain enforcement, in certain angles of enforcement, right?
Yep.
So because of that, I think we see a decrease in house fires because people are more apt to set it up properly. They don't feel they have to hide as much.
Well, if you're a medicinal user,
to me, it looks like it's a decline in house fires directly associated with cannabis.
Well, and that's the other thing is that the numbers of in this rate here, the numbers of house fires in that amount of time has come down dramatically as well. So I'm going to do some more crunching here. I would be willing to say that even at 419 fires, it's still probably less.
Oh, if we could add just one more.
419 fires is only it's not even 1%. We did the math.
Yeah, no, I know. They're just these guys.
It was 4,700 and
so full of
something
crap.
fires per year, on an average over the last 8 years. So even if we take the high statistics from 97 to 2003 and apply that to current statistics, we're still at less than 1% of all fires in British Columbia caused by grow-ups.
And
so we should ban cooking because it's much more.
I think we should ban Christmas because the house fires directly related to Christmas lights and faulty ornaments and stuff.
Cooking is one of the cooking is one of the main reasons for house fires, and that's what Diane Watts, Len Garris, and Daryl Pleckus do is they cook fucking numbers.
Yeah.
Down there in Surrey, they got a number cooking laboratory. Sad. No, they're just cashing in the pigs. That's what they are. At the trough. And they have the ear of the media, which sucks. The media never fucking questions anything they say. Ever. Because they want the stories, these goofy shit. But that's for another show.
Yeah.
And not this one. All right, I'm out of here. I've got to eat food. So thanks a lot, guys, for being here. Thanks, Marius, for drawing that thing that you drew. Jeremiah, you watched their shows on Friday.
Slightly associated to cannabis.
Yeah.
Pretty good connections.
I wrote down everything he said, so I'm going to check this stuff out. So, but Marius has a show on Friday at 2 o'clock. Jeremiah goes live. Both of them are live at 4 o'clock.
I go on at 4.
I just thought of a new angle for Marius's drawings. Every week, it should be, we give him 3 degrees. Connect it within 3 degrees to cannabis.
3 degrees.
Yeah.
The 3 degrees of cannabis.
Yeah, within 3 degrees. If you can't connect your drawing within 3 degrees to cannabis, then you don't get to draw one the next week. You have to take a week off.
That's right, exactly. Yes, it's a privilege.
Well, I like that. Yeah. We'll give it to the writers to
we'll see what they think about it.
All right, cool.
No respect.
No. We wish.
That we had writers?
No, that anyone gave us respect.
Oh, fuck. I don't care about respect.
The writers don't. Holy fuck. Bunch of monkeys.
They are. Monkeys,
all right.
lemurs.
Well, we're thrilled to be here and glad that you folks in the chat could join us. We got a little screen for Al so he could play along with you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. These guys are fucking crazy.
It's a different world. It's your own world, that's for sure. And from, I guess, all of our points of view, it's just letters on a screen. Colored letters and stuff going up. Yeah, little thing going up. But we're glad that you come here to do that. And everybody's friends in the chat.
Euphoric wants to know if I go to movies. It seems like a little bit of a personal question, Euphoric.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been to a movie for the longest frickin' time.
If the movie's good, sometimes I'll go to a movie.
No, I gave up.
Yeah.
Don't need them anymore. Got big screen, fucking rockin' speakers and BitTorrents.
Yeah, BitTorrents. I prefer to just do it at, get a movie downloaded and hit the vaporizer and
smoke your brains out or do whatever else you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's going on, yeah. So, I'm not sure how the massive box offices continue to be met at movie theaters.
In Finland, Slowtoke Finland says movies are expensive as 3 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
true.
How much is a star?
I have no idea. There's 3 stars.
Well, the movie's about $15, so
Well, Joy Triple Z says
$5 a
3-star Harper.
Well, he said there's a
Interesting,
bunch of stars.
3-star Harper. All right, we're losing it now. Now we're starting to pay attention to the chat. We got to get the fuck outta here.
I've been drawn to
Holy
this
cow.
thing. I don't know if I want this here next week. Kind of freaks me out. These guys
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they're saying stuff. All right, well, we'll do just that. Get out of here. Thanks a lot to Al for being here, brother, as
Thanks for
always.
having me.
And we'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned and stay stoned. I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.